I'm going to add Rosalean on. Let's see, where is she? Hey, Sister Zara. Let's see, let me add her on. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Assalamu alaikum. Oh gosh.
Alaikum salam. Yep, you're coming on. We can see you coming on, loading up. There you are.
Hi. Assalamu alaikum, guys. How are you all? How are you, Jamila?
Alhamdulillah, people joining. Alhamdulillah, I'm good. I'm good. I just had a nice 10-minute meditation to set myself up for right now. That is good.
Alhamdulillah. Wa alaikum salam, Holistic Peers. Nice to see you guys here. MashaAllah. There's quite a few people here, right? So, Jamila, what are we talking about today?
Okay, we're talking about mindset blocks coming up for you in your business.
Mm-hmm.
Things that are stopping you showing up truthfully with integrity and showing up consistently in your business, especially in current times where there's a lot of people thinking that it's bad for me to sell right now, or it's bad for me to really sell my services for what they're really worth, and maybe I should discount them. And we're also going to be talking about money blocks. So if anybody has any questions around those things, please feel free to drop them up in the comments, and inshallah we'll do our best to get through to them.
Yes, inshallah. So let's talk money blocks. Let's talk about what are money blocks? What do they look like? What do they sound like? So what do they sound like, Jamila?
I think for me they come like in so many different ways. And going through your money blocks is a work in progress. You can't ever feel like I have no money blocks, because you're always going to be hitting an income ceiling, and then you want to hit the next one, and you want to hit the next one. So you're always going to be facing blocks in every single part of your journey.
Right.
And they come up in so many ways. And most of the ways they come up are quite hidden. People don't even realize that they're hitting these money blocks. So especially when entrepreneurs or women in business, they feel like they're doing their work to show up for their business, selling their services, or they've got the strategy in place to get clients or to get leads. They're doing the work, but it's not working. One way that comes up is in the form of a money block, is that they're very, very resistant to actually receiving money.
Right, that's a big one.
And it's not just money. Sometimes it comes across as other things in their lives. Maybe they're resistant to receiving love or help or compliments, anything like that, and it can translate into money blocks in being resistant to receiving money.
Right, that's true. And one thing I find with a lot of especially female entrepreneurs, is that we have this belief that if we become rich, then we're going to lose people. And that's like a massive belief that I've seen in all my clients, that if I become rich, then that's it. I'm going to be horrible. I'm going to end up cheating on my husband. I'm going to lose my friends. I'm going to lose my family, because we've been indoctrinated from such a young age, from movies, from like dramas, from stuff that we watched and read. Where we see a powerful woman, a woman that is making money, she's always deemed as the evil one and the one who's causing havoc in her family relationships or in the lives around her friends or whatever. So it's very important as women that we uncover this and we remove this block, because and like you said, it doesn't just affect your money, it affects everything. It affects love, your relationship, it affects even your health. Like, I know a lot of people who have money issues, they struggle with their health. It shows about stress. You get stressed out over money, the bills aren't being paid. And then if you're running a business, you're thinking, okay, I can't increase my services, because if I do, then maybe I will lose my deal. Actually, someone messaged me yesterday saying, how do I increase my prices? I'm scared that I'm going to lose my relationship with Allah. So we've attributed having more money to being disconnected from Allah as well, which is a massive gap that we see within the Muslim community, especially, that people think, oh gosh, like, if I make more money, if I get rich, then I'm going to be so far away from Allah. I'm going to be so far away from God. I'm going to become, you know, I'm not going to be spiritual anymore. But that's the opposite, especially for me. Like when I started making money, made me more connected to Allah because I'm thinking, wow, Allah blessed me with this. It made me more grateful, right?
Definitely. And even if you look in the Sahaba's time, there were
Yeah,
many Sahabas. In today's time, they won't even be billionaires, they will be like trillionaires.
exactly,
That's
right?
that didn't stop them. Money didn't stop
No,
them.
right.
Even like Khadija and her, nothing stopped her from carrying on in her business endeavors, you know, especially during that time as well. And I think in our society as well is like when you're growing up and you see somebody with money, you associate it with suspicion that there's something
Mm,
wrong, something dodgy that she's doing, that she's
right,
making money like this, that there's some, she's probably not doing something right, there's something offhanded in what she's doing, that's probably how she's making the money or they're making the money. And that in itself is a limiting belief that really stops people from taking action forward in their own business and thinking, okay, what do I need to do next to actually make my business grow bigger?
right. And guys, I want you to realize that money is just an exchange of value. That's all it is. Money is just like it's an illusion. We've created this tangible thing called money, but we've placed a value on it that has made different meanings. So we made it out of money is evil, money is from the devil, and money makes you greedy, all this stuff. But it's just an illusion. It's what you place on it. If you think about money in a way that the more impact I make in people's lives, the more money I make, and the more I can give back, that's a different belief to have than to say, oh, making money is bad. I have to do illegal things to make money. I have to, do something really bad, hurt people to make money. That's because we've been programmed to believe that that's the way that you can make money. And also, like back to the point about Khadija radiallahu anha, again, as women, we think that we can't be a wife and a mother and have money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
So
we
many,
believe,
so many women feel like that, and our religion does state that a woman she can earn, she can have her own livelihood as well. And I think a lot of people, a lot of women maybe are even scared that what's going to be the next step, if I do earn more, and that that it kind of subconsciously blocks themselves from earning more because they're in so much fear about what is going to be the next step. What if I do earn more? Am I going to create like a weird dynamic in my relationship? Am I going to be seen different in the community? Am I going to be too out there? And all of these things, that thoughts that come into their minds, are actually blocking them going to the next level in their business.
and I'm glad you touched upon that actually, because someone asked me the other day, like, oh, does your husband mind you making more money than him? I was like, no, actually, he's very supportive of it, alhamdulillah. Because for him, he doesn't see money as a status thing. It's not for him, and that's what it shouldn't be. A lot of them
Yeah.
create statuses and like, yes, it gives you power. Money does give you power in the sense that you can impact more people, but it's not a status thing. What makes you successful, what I believe, is the character that you have, right? And if you're like greedy and horrible before making money, you're going to be the same way even after you make money. If you're generous before making money, you'll be generous after. That's what people don't realize, that money doesn't change you. It actually enhances your traits. It makes you more of what you are.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that all it does is it just improves on your personality, whatever it is more. So if you're a
Yeah,
kind person already right now without money, or whatever your income level is right now, having more money will just like strengthen that more. And if you feel like you're a greedy person or you're a stingy person right now, having more money will just kind of exaggerate that more. So whatever
right.
you are right now, money will only just create more of that for yourself.
Right, exactly. And like another thing I want to add is, guys, I said this is like a video that I made ages ago, and I said you're selfish if you don't want to make money. And it
Mm,
caused a big uproar, especially with the men. And the men had their opinions, negative opinions. And I said you're selfish in the sense that, imagine like your kids go to school, and they need to the school needs to upgrade the building, and they have repair work to do. Because you are choosing not to make money, or you're choosing to be in a story that money is bad, you can't contribute to your community, right? Imagine your friend comes to you and he says, you know what, I have a medical bill, or there's this new treatment and I can't afford it. And you because you made the choice not to go out there and impact the world and make more money, you are choosing not to serve your community. So when you make money, it's about service. Money is never about hoarding. That's what the issue is. We think that making money means we love it. It's not that. When you start hoarding money and you become greedy and stingy with it and you pile it up to the point that you think no more is to come, that's when it becomes a problem. But the more you make, the more you give out, the more you'll get back. It's all about receiving, just like you mentioned about receiving. When you're able to give out, when you're able to impact and you're able to receive, that's what generates money. It's like flowing all the time, it's in a cycle.
Yeah, like for example, if you've got £5 and you decide to buy, let's say you decide to buy a chair because you needed it for that, you needed a chair. And so you bought that chair, you've used it for whatever it was that you needed to use it for. And then you gave that chair to somebody else to use, and they started using it, and then they sold it. They broke the legs of the chair, and they thought, I wanna redo it, and I wanna make it like a garden chair sort of thing. And then they done that, they used it, and then they ended up selling it for like £10-15. And then so that £5 can carry on creating a cycle of value for so many people. So anytime we even spend money outdoors, sometimes we have a mentality of, oh my god, I'm losing my money or I'm spending my money, but you never see that you're actually just contributing to the cycle of exchange that's continuously happening.
Exactly.
That your money is going to be going to be used in something else for someone else, and then that cycle carries on going and going and going.
Right. Absolutely, you're absolutely right, Jamila. Just like exactly. So when you go to the supermarket and you buy, you're not buying the product. You're actually helping the people who work there. You're paying their bills. You're paying their wages. You're paying their rent. That money just makes everything work and flow. And like the issue is this, I think people believe that your job or the government or the economy is the source of your money. It's not. The source of your money is Allah, is God. Allah is abundant. His stream of money, his stream of riches, because Allah is the most rich. It never ends. It's limitless, right? So the way we see it is that it's not flowing always. When the money stream is always flowing, it's circulating around the world all the time. Think about it, if everyone had £1 in their account, there's 7 billion people in this world. That'll be £7 billion being generated every single day. But obviously people have more money in their account than a pound. So can you imagine how much money there is in the world? But because we think from a limited perspective, thinking that if I don't see in my account, that means it's not anywhere else. Money unavailable everywhere else. Right?
Yeah, definitely. And the only difference in knowing is in you attracting that money or having a lot more income come from your business, is your ability to either allow that flow of money to come to you or you blocking that flow of money to come to you.
Yes, exactly. And Gal, I want you to imagine money is like a stream. So imagine the source is Allah and the stream of money is constantly flowing, okay? The only way that you stop that stream of money when you break it down is when you start telling yourself that money's not available. Or you don't put in the effort, especially if you're a coach or an entrepreneur, when you don't put in the effort to take the money from the river. So imagine there's a river in front of you and money is constantly flowing. It's just flowing. It doesn't stop, whether you take from it or not. But the only way that you can get your piece of the pie is when you make the effort. When you have the belief that, oh, the money's there, it's available, it's never going to end. As long as I put in the effort and I put in that work, I will get what I need, what I receive. And then the way that you stop the money flowing to you and create that down is when you tell yourself it's unavailable. You become blind to it. You just tell yourself, it's not there, I can't see it, I'm not going to make it, it's not going to happen. And this is what we see with entrepreneurs, like coaches, therapists, counselors, whatever. If you have an online service, we find people, like when they have that belief, they start reducing their prices, right, Jamila? Start reducing your prices, giving you sessions for free, especially during this time, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I was just going to add, the other thing that comes up is that you're having these money blocks, but you're not aware of what they are. So you might be doing all the work, like all the strategy to grow your business, to get clients. You're in your DM conversations, you're putting posts out there, but you're getting crickets. And that's because you're having those subconscious blocks, but you're not knowing where they are. And anytime we kind of do our own work on our subconscious blocks, your body is going to resist. It wants you to stay where you are, and it feels safe where it is. So it's not going to allow itself to open up to you what those blocks are. And it takes a lot of deep inner work to really know what your blocks are, or someone else kind of pointing out your blind spots to you. And only when you really work on those things, then are you able to kind of move forward through those blocks and start attracting clients and start attracting money to you.
Like, from your experience, Jamila, where do these blocks come from? These money blocks, these subconscious blocks, where do they come from? Where do they originate from?
So most of our blocks are from childhood. Literally, they
Yeah.
have links in childhood. But with association and similar patterns happening over time in your life, sometimes they get stronger through recent events or encounters with people. So
Mm,
the other example, I was working with a client, and she was having this block in her conversations in the DMs. She kind of, or even just posting, she just felt that people are going to judge her, that somebody's
mm,
going to judge me. And she felt very triggered when she saw posts just on Instagram or Facebook, and somebody in the comments judging the person who posted it. And she felt really triggered by it. So she
mm,
had this fear of, like, what if they say this? What if they say who you to sell to me, or something like this? And we dove deeper into it, and what she didn't realize is that because there was a similar thing that happened to her in her previous employment, it was still affecting her today. It was
mm.
still, and she carried an energetic charge to that situation, and she didn't realize it because she said, I'd never actually thought about it until today. And that's only when I asked her some deep questions that she realized, okay, this is an event that's really coming up for me. And that event, all it was that she was trying to own her truth. She was trying to speak from her truth. She wanted to really help her company out, grow her company that she was working with, and signed like a 4 or 5 figure contract. And what ended up happening was one of her colleagues, which is also a friend, kind of judged her for it, and it
Mm,
really hurt her. And it really hurt her, and it still kind of carried an energetic charge with her for, until today. And
mm,
it's
mm.
only just kind of letting go of those charges and the energetic kind of link that we still hold to certain events and people, that you're then able to kind of go to the similar situation with a whole new light.
Right, exactly. And also, like, when we say energetic charge, we mean in the sense that we suppress an emotion, okay? Because
Mm.
remember, emotions are energy in motion. The energy has to move, okay? What happens is that when you suppress something within yourself, it becomes stagnant. And just imagine that river becomes dead, right? It just stagnates. So the way to release that emotion is to dig deep to it, is to reveal it to you, to your conscious mind, because it's stuck in your subconscious mind. It's like pulling the tree out and looking in the thinking, what's going on here? What's happening? Why are the fruits not growing? You have to look at the root cause and why it happened. And it's like you mentioned with her, it was like previous employment, right? And also another thing I want to talk about with money is our blueprint. We have a blueprint that we got from our parents. Now, a lot of us, like the people I work with, they always say, when I take them back to childhood, they will talk about the time that their mom and dad fought over money, right? Or there was actually one client that I had, she goes, the more successful my dad became, the less he saw of me. So she created the belief, I don't want to make money because I will stop seeing my loved ones or my marriage will fall apart, right? So we all have a blueprint that we need to upgrade. Most of us are using the blueprint from when we were 7 years old to help us run our lives now. And it's not working, right? Because when you're 7 years old, you have no concept of money other than what your parents tell you. And that's the blueprint that you're carrying on into your lives, into your business, into your marriages, into your careers. You're looking at that blueprint thinking, okay, so when I was 7, my mom said money is bad. Okay, so how can I apply this to my life now and use the same principle? And really, you need to change the principle by removing the suppressed emotion around it and then creating a new belief, which is money is a tool that I can use. Money is used for good. I love people and use money because a lot of people think that you're going to use people for money. So you have to change the language. It's all about language, right? Don't you think, Jamila?
Mm.
Mainly it's about language that we have around money, around confidence. It always goes back to language.
Yeah, definitely. It's about the language that you use about money when it comes to your own business, but
Yeah.
also when it comes to money just in general. So sometimes, for example, we say things like, um, "Oh, those new pair of shoes. Oh, I can't afford that right now." When that kind of language, you're actually that's not a good money blueprint kind of language, because you're kind of saying that that's not available for me right now.
Yes.
Another way that you could have kind of put that was, um, that's something that I choose not to spend my money on right now. but I'm so available for it. So
Yes.
you're allowing the opportunity to still flow to you.
Right, exactly. That's a really good an affirmation to use. That's a really good one to use. So how do we get rid of these money blocks? How do we get, let's not just money blocks, but how do we get more confident? Because it all comes down to confidence as well, right? Comes down to confidence.
Confidence in showing up in your business.
Yeah.
Again, with confidence in showing up in your business and the mindset blocks that a lot of people face, there's so many root kind of causes of those mindset blocks. And one that I see a lot happening that people are so unaware of is similar to how you mentioned before, is people actually fear not of their business failing, but their business succeeding.
Yeah.
Like they fear that, what if I actually do book out my services? What if I do get the clients that I want? What if I do make a 5K month or a 10K month, or even a 20K month? And subconsciously they're scared that my life won't stay the same, and I don't know what my life will look like.
Right, because it's unfamiliar, right? Because the ego is here to keep us safe, and the ego keeps you safe by keeping you stuck in familiar situations. So when you're not used to having a lot of money, your mind will take you back to the program that tells you, okay, do you remember the time when you ever had money? What happened? And it'll tell you failed, something went wrong, you took a risk, all the bad events come up, and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. And that's why you self-sabotage. You end up spending your money, you feel guilty, you feel ashamed. Like, especially right now, because we're going through a recession, a lot of the clients I speak to, they're like, oh my God, I can't sell. It's bad. Like, I'm taking advantage of the situation. How can I do that? And I always say to them that it's not about the money, it's about love. Imagine, like, you have a friend who is one donut away from eating her way to a heart attack. Would you let her eat the donut because she bought it from her money? Chances are you wouldn't, right? You wouldn't care if she bought it from her own money. You wouldn't care if she paid £1 million for it. You would take that donut from her hand and tell her this is what you can't do this, you're gonna die. You're gonna remind her this is what coaching is, this is what service is. It's about coming from a place of love, giving value. And at the end of the day, if you're an entrepreneur, this is what you prepare for, right? This is like what's going on right now. This is what you train for. People overcome it, to help people survive it. So now is when you need to show up the most and sell your services the most, because people need you more than ever than before.
Yeah, and entrepreneurs, like, we're the ones that are going to be like keeping the economy stable. Like,
Yes.
shopping centers are closed, bars and restaurants are closed, but any online kind of form of work is open, and it's open 24/7, and we're kind of keeping the economy alive just by doing this, but just by opening up and showing that we're open, and carrying on posting, carrying on, talking to ideal leads, etc. And another example that I can think of is, so right now, during what's going on, nobody's going to Tesco and saying, Tesco, you can't be selling cakes right now. Like, you can't
Exactly.
Easter eggs right now. But what's going to happen if somebody decides to buy cakes or Easter eggs right now? That's not a necessity. No, nobody's going to Tesco and saying that. Like, Tesco's not saying, okay, we're going to only sell the bare necessities. Everything else we're taking off our shelves. The Easter eggs are out, cakes and everything's out. And that's what we need to adopt. That just because of what's going on, I'm still going to carry on showing the full range of my services, showing up for myself and my clients and my audience fully. I'm not kind of just lowering my programs or something to kind of suit my clients, but I'm serving them fully, 100%.
Exactly, right. And that's the whole point. Just remember, guys, selling is service. If you are in business and you, like, let us know if you are a coach, if you're an entrepreneur, let's comment yes. So that if you are a coach, entrepreneur, selling an online service, just know that selling is service, selling is helping. Guys, I want you to realize this year that we are constantly selling. Okay, when you try and get your husband to take you to a restaurant, you are selling him on the restaurant. When your kids try to get you to watch something or to let them play, they are selling you on the idea of letting them play. We are constantly selling. When I wear my niqab, when someone asks me where did I get it from, I'm selling. I'm a walking advertisement. So you have to realize that when you are out there on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media, you're not robbing someone. This is the issue. People, you believe that you're robbing someone from their money. You are taking their money away from them. That's not it. Because you have to realize that the transformation happens in the transaction. Like, if you do you remember anything that you got for free that you valued? No. No one remembers the free things that they got, but people will remember the things that they bought with their hard-earned cash and took the time to look after it. It's the same with your services. The transformation will only happen in a transaction because there's an exchange of value. If you're going to give a service to someone, you have to receive something back, and it has to be in the form of money, because the only way that you can make your business run is in the form of money.
Yeah, and just to kind of put it in like concrete perspective, if everybody kind of just thinks about one thing in their whole life, whether it was a tangible thing or like intangible, like a course or working with a mentor or even a book that made a huge transformation in your life, like whether it's in your health, in your marriage, in your personal development, whatever it is, just think about it and just think about how much you paid for it. And I guarantee you 99% of people right now probably would agree that they would pay double that price.
Yeah,
they would literally
right.
pay double that price, just because of how much transformation that brought you.
Right, so true. Spot on. That's absolutely spot on. Shall we read through the comments? And if you have any questions, guys, feel free to just comment them, below, and we'll try and answer them during this live. I'm gonna try and scroll up. There's quite a lot. Mashallah, there's a lot of people online. Allah Mubarak. Walaikum salam, everyone. We're just seeing your comments now. So if you have any questions about like money blocks, about confidence, about selling your services online right now during the recession, feel free to like drop your questions below and we'll answer them.
Or any mindset that you're facing in your business right now.
Yeah. Someone asked actually like how do you respond when people say Khadija radiallahu anha was a businesswoman before she accepted Islam and was not after that? Well, how would you answer that, Jamila?
I would say it didn't change her. Like it didn't change her identity. Her accepting Islam did not change anything for the fact that she was a businesswoman. She still carried on. It just shows how much accepted, how much she valued herself and her services, whatever she was offering at that time, to kind of carry on whatever the situation happened. And of course, when she accepted, it was a very difficult time. Like we can even mirror that to what's happening now, a difficult time that's happening, and she didn't stop. So there's no reason why we should be stopping.
Yeah, exactly. And her money, what her riches, is the one that actually helped Islam grow more. So you have to realize that it doesn't matter when or where it happened, before or after. She was still that prominent businesswoman. People knew her for that. She was well known. People used to come. You know what I find so fascinating? Men used to come to Khadija radiallahu anha for business advice. She was so she was so knowledgeable on business and trading and stuff that prominent, like big time men used to come to her and ask her for advice. So that never stopped. She was still very strong and powerful within herself. I don't think there's any questions. I can't see any questions. Someone say can't hear us, now they can.
Any questions, everyone? Feel free to post them up.
Okay.
Any difficulties you're facing right now in your businesses regarding money blocks?
Behind the Veil asked the question, how do you stop yourself from feeling guilty about spending money on yourself, and even though you worked hard and saved up for it?
Okay, so that's definitely a receiving block that you're having. And whenever I've come across this block, is usually traced back to us in our childhood. We were told, save up, don't spend, because like I know for me, because my parents were from an immigrant family coming here, money was difficult, and because of that, it was save up, don't spend, only spend on necessities, and that's what we took on. So growing up, when you feel like spending on yourself, it becomes really, really difficult. But I would say still do that, and obviously do it within your means. Like if you've got things that you really need to pay for them, and whatever's left over, I would allocate 10% every month just to spend on yourself. Yes, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, a massage, a nice dinner out, something like that you're spending just on yourself. This is so your receiving muscles grow stronger, and your ability to kind of receive more abundance gets easier and easier for you.
Exactly, that's perfect. And also, guys, another thing that I've always looked into is generational trauma. If you like you're immigrants, and we're all immigrants, and you fled war, you fled poverty, you will have that pain of that trauma in your DNA. And it's something that I've worked on, like 6 generations of trauma within my family around money, especially, because we had a lot of poverty, a lot of fear mongering, a lot of murders that happened in my family. So getting rid of that trauma within that moves back to your ancestors is really helpful as well. Someone asked how to find out if you have money blocks. Well, the number one thing is, how do you feel when you look at money? Treat your money like a partner. Bring in your husband. Would you ignore your husband, right? Would you not talk to him the whole day? How would he feel if you didn't look at him, if you just shoved him in your pocket, didn't forget about that he's there? How would he feel? It's the same with money. How do you see your money? Do you look at your bank account? Do you look at the numbers? Do you feel good when you look at the numbers? Do you just shove money in your wallet, or just like money all over your handbag and you don't look at it? How do you treat money? That's how you know whether you have a money block or not. And also another thing, just like perfectly, someone asked, how do I start feeling guilty? If you feel guilty about spending money, if you feel guilty about receiving money, if you find it difficult to sell your services for a high price, if you find it difficult to give your services for some amount of money and you're constantly giving it for free, then you have a money block. Someone said, Alone She-Wolf said, you guys have such a soothing voice. She fell asleep. I almost fell asleep, but I woke up with a start. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, thank you. Is it wrong to spend extravagant but do shukr for it? So, give thanks for it. What do you think, Jamila?
I think it's not wrong, but obviously extravagant according to your means. So
yeah.
If you know, like, you have certain things that you do need to pay for, but you're spending, an X amount of money on a car or other things, that's not, I think, wise use of your money, and you kind of sending that message out about money as well, that it's something that I'm just going to be frivolous with. I'm not going to really take care of it. That's the message that you're going to be giving out. But if it is within your means, then alhamdulillah, like, go for it, because that is the reason why Allah has put us in this specific time, in this specific era, where we have access to so many of these luxuries. Like, we are allowed to kind of spend on those luxuries, and of course do shukr for them as well.
Yeah, and guys, remember, right, we live in the West, so by default we're rich. If you're trying to make yourself poor in the West, you're doing something wrong, because by default you are rich. You can't help it. You were born in a country, alhamdulillah, where people are rich. You have access to a lot of money. So by default, you are rich compared to someone else who lives in a different country where there's issues with the infrastructure. You don't have a good infrastructure. You don't have a good economy. So when you think about extravagance, it's always look at the culture that you're in as well, right? Look at how much money you have in your account. Are you always short at the end of the month? If you are, then you are expending extravagantly. That's what that means. If you're short, trying to borrow money, going to overdraft, going to minus, going into debt, then you are definitely being extravagant. But if you have the means, just like Jamila said, if you have the means to buy something within your budget, then there's nothing wrong with it, because Allah's made it available to you. You have to realize all these things are available to us. It's our choice whether we go for it or not, obviously within halal means, right? Permissible means. So when you're spending on yourself, let's say saving 10% of your money just to spend on yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not being extravagant. Like 10% of £100, what's that? £10? Is it?
Yeah.
It's £10, right? Yeah. So there's £10 you're spending on yourself, on like a massage or a nice top. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I think the expand is saying, if you always have to buy the latest branded stuff that's out, but you do shukr, what would you say for that?
I would say, why are you doing that? I always find, why are you doing that? Like, why do you feel like you have to have the latest the branded especially? Do you feel insecure without it? Do you feel like it validates you? If it does, if that's the intention behind it, then there's like a deeper issue of you constantly wanting things and never being fulfilled. Then yeah, that can lead to extravagance, where you just constantly buying and never feeling fulfilled within. So I would invite you to dig deeper into that.
Yeah, it could also be something to do with people pleasing behavior now, and also from childhood, that will be really good for you to look into. But I would also add that if you're buying it again it's within your means, and you generally feel a big sense of gratitude in it and alignment in it, then I would say that's good if you're doing it. Yeah.
If it's within your means, and you're feeling good about it. Oh, Layinka's here. Hey, Layinka, mashallah, I'm so glad to see you here. Okay, I can't see any more questions. So what's our final thoughts, Jamila?
Final thoughts. Okay, so if you're having a business right now that you're struggling in your mindset, you're struggling on your money blocks, just know that now is not the time for you to stop. Now is the time